Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter. Thank you for tuning into our channel, Goldilocks Global Banking News. Everybody knows that Goldilocks is the #1 source for the RVGCR. People from around the world tune in to see what Goldilocks is sharing on the RVGCR. Don't miss your chance and get your latest updates every day. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel to get your daily podcast from the Goldilocks articles on the RVGCR. Brought to you by Freedom Fighter.
Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter, and welcome to Goldilocks Global Banking News. I am your host. Folks, it is amazing. So much is transpiring right now that even, again, every day, more members reporting the relationships established with the actual bankers. As a matter of fact, we had a member, Pistol's mom, was so sweet. Posted in the room today that she had a meeting via Zoom with her wealth manager who told her that his mother-in-law has foreign currency. Just imagine how comfortable the wealth manager was with her that he shared that. She will be scheduling a face-to-face meeting in the next week or so with this wealth manager. Folks, for all of you that are in this investment, have you met anyone in person, shaking the hand of a banker who can exchange your currency for higher rates? Have you had Zoom calls with anybody? Have you gotten an email from a banker to tell you your accounts are set up? You have that opportunity. Members in the Goldilocks QFS Dialogues room, that's what's happening for them. If you would like to join for free, you can click the link top of the description. You're more than welcome to come to the room and ask for help. We encourage you to dust your shoes off, introduce yourself, say hello to the tribe, to the members in the room who are already prepared and ready for the RV with their relationships at the banks, and establish relationships with people in the room by introducing yourself. We will wrap our arms around you with love. If you come with love, we have no problem helping you along the way, beautiful people. Goldilocks is sharing some very important information today from the Federal Register, which is the equivalent to the Gazette in Iraq, where laws are posted. That's the Federal Register here in the United States. It's a electronic database where all laws passed are registered. Let's jump right into it because it's important, and then we're going to touch on Vietnam. Let's jump into it. Goldilocks is sharing that from the Federal Register, it just came out, where it states that there are important laws that were passed by the Biden administration that President Trump is putting a pin on these laws so that the Trump administration can implement new laws that are in the best interest of we the people. These new laws, ladies and gentlemen, include important digital asset regulations that affect our foreign currency exchanges. So, Goldilocks shared the actual Federal Register, whereby the Department of Interior is delaying some of the laws the Biden administration had enacted that were supposed to go into effect. Bottom line, Goldilocks is saying, look closely at what is about to happen a month later after this happens. This is on June the 4th, which is a new ruling period for laws to go into effect. Folks, you got to realize, just because you don't hear dinar, just because you don't hear dong, boulevard, a date, doesn't mean that something that is happening isn't related to the dong, the dinar, the RV, because everything is connected to everything. This is why so many of our members are able to go in and speak intelligently to these bankers and end up in a situation where the bankers agree to exchange their currency for them, or trust accounts set up for them, or just relationships established, period. It doesn't take much to learn. It just takes the effort to desire to learn. Now let's get into what Vietnam has announced. Many of you have been following Goldilocks. You know that Vietnam visited the United States on May the 1st for meetings. You know that the week before that, the United States visited Vietnam for meetings. These meetings are regarding the negotiations regarding tariffs, which are very important because they include what will be done with the Vietnamese dong. Now Vietnam is announcing they are coming back to the United States May the 7th, this Wednesday. Again, they're coming back. But this time when they're coming back, they're expected to sign contracts with the United States. And the trade minister meets the U.S. trade officials. The trade minister of Vietnam meets the trade officials of the United States. This is all reported. And remember, where are currencies affected? On the water. How? Through trade. These tariffs are related to trade. Many of you are hearing this right now. You may be conflicted. You may not want to believe that these tariffs have anything to do with your foreign currency. You may not want to because for so long you've heard by the gurus how, well, whatever you've heard to make to believe what they're telling you. Now you're hearing something totally different and it's hard for you to grasp it. The members that follow Goldilocks, they may have been in that situation too at one time. But once they followed the steps, it was a way for Wiley, Goldilocks, and myself to trick our members into being prepared at the banks for their exchange. Just following the 8 steps and the Wiley's questions and his golden gems, our members are prepared. Do you not deserve the same? Even if I know it's hard to comprehend something totally different than what you've been told by your favorite gurus, whom you put your heart and your soul into, your belief. You've told your family, your friends to follow. And it's hard. I know it. But folks, they served their purpose. The guru served their purpose to help you, introduce you to this investment. I know we're hard on the gurus sometimes, but I have to be fair. I have to give credit where credit is due. That's just me. God can use anyone to wake up his people. But it's his people that must choose to ask, seek, so that you can find the information and the knowledge that God has for you, and especially pertaining to this investment of the RV. Particularly with Vietnam. Goldilocks is stating that tax negotiations between the U.S. and Vietnam during tariff talks are a strategic effort to address trade imbalances, reduce barriers, and protect Vietnam's export-driven economy from these tariffs. Vietnam's offers to lower tariffs and crack down on trade fraud reflects its urgency to maintain U.S. market access, while the U.S. leverages tariffs to push for fair trade practices. I'm going to explain something to you right now, and pay attention. Vietnam has made it very clear that they want to maintain what's called U.S. market access. How does this affect the Vietnamese dong, and what is market economy access? Market economy access and market economy status are not the same thing. I'm going to explain both of them. Market access refers to Vietnam's ability, or any country's ability, to engage in trade and economic activity in a particular market. It could be the market of gas. It could be the market of wheat, agricultural products, whatever it may be. It involves opening up an international trade or international trade portal, investing and potentially receiving VIP treatment, if you will, in these various markets. Let's say, for example, let me use this as an example. Listen carefully. If there are 10 of the most profitable markets to do trade in, and Vietnam doesn't have access to those markets at the moment, if the United States agrees to allow Vietnam to have access to those specific markets, let's say if it's the market for Vietnam to export leather, to export semiconductors, clocks, wheat, coal. I'm just naming things off the top of my head. But if the U.S. agrees to give Vietnam the access, the market access to import or to export those products out of Vietnam into other countries, it would allow Vietnam's economy to grow even more. Ladies and gentlemen, it's in writing, proof right now. Seen it today. Did you know that the number one, the fastest growing economy is actually Vietnam right now? As a matter of fact, in the Asian region of the world also, Vietnam is now the fastest growing economy. They've actually passed up China. So, and Vietnam doesn't have the market access that they want to have. Imagine if they did, what would happen to their economy? Imagine if they did, what would happen to the value of the Vietnamese dong? Although their economy is the fastest growing in the world, they have continued to devalue and manipulate the Vietnamese dong, meaning the central bank of Vietnam, so that they can make more profit on their exports. Imagine if there's other markets that are opened up to give them the ability to make those extra profits. Now, that's market access. Let's touch on market economy status. A market economy status, ladies and gentlemen, is a legal designation by organizations like the World Trade Organization, which affects how other World Trade Organization members can give VIP treatment to a country in terms of tariffs and trade. So, market access is like gold status for Vietnam. So think of, you have platinum, gold, silver, bronze. Market economy access is gold for the Vietnamese dong value. Market economy status is platinum. Because if Vietnam is given market economy status, that's like the black card. That's like an exclusive club that they are allowed to enter into, so that their trade and exports of goods and products from outside, leaving Vietnam, their economy may double or triple with this particular status. Ladies and gentlemen, everything that Vietnam is doing right now related to the negotiations with the United States shows that they want to have market access. They are making changes. Vietnam, that is, are making changes within their procedures of trade regarding their relationship with the United States, showing that they want to have market access. Market economy access. It remains to be seen if they will have market economy access or market economy status. So it remains to be seen through these negotiations if they will have the gold or the platinum treatment for the Vietnamese dong. Vietnam has been moving away from their central bank controlling the value of the Vietnamese dong, because as they do so, the market will determine the value of the Vietnamese dong. Vietnam has had to implement several reforms, economic reforms, in order to be close to being recognized as to have market access or market economy status. Vietnam's economy has experienced rapid growth and is increasingly integrated into the global market. A market-based economy significantly impacts currency exchange rates. Supply and demand for foreign currency exchange are the primary drivers of exchange rate fluctuations in a country, which leads to their currencies floating. Economic indicators like GDP growth, inflation, and interest rates impact the value of a country's currency. Speaking of GDP, Vietnam was second to China over the last 20 years. Now Vietnam has passed up China. In a market-based economy with a floating exchange rate, the value of a currency is determined by the interactions of supply and demand in the foreign exchange market. If demand for a currency is high, its value will increase, and vice versa. See, if Vietnam is given market access or market economy status, the demand for the Vietnamese dong goes up. Why? Because the dong has more access to the global markets. Let me be even more clear. The value, the price, the rate. I'm saying different terms to make you think and understand how the value of the Vietnamese dong is determined. In a market status or market economy access, the open global markets determine the value of the rate. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, within the negotiations with the United States, with the economic reforms Vietnam has made, it shows clearly that they have been making the way for their economy to be considered worthy of the global market. The Prime Minister of Vietnam asked his negotiation team to propose to the United States to allow Vietnam to be considered and designated a market economy. They are doing, by all intents and purposes, it shows that they are doing what it takes, so far as we can see, so far as what they are reporting. Doing what it takes in the hopes that through these negotiations of tariffs, that they're recognized either as a market economy status or market economy access. Either way, if the Vietnamese dong is allowed to float throughout the global market, international markets, versus by the control of the Vietnamese central bank, it's highly expected that the Vietnamese dong will move up in value. If you have been following Goldilocks for a while, you've been watching, you've been seeing this all play out. What I'm sharing with you by Goldilocks is not a surprise. It is just a way for you to keep up with what we're putting down. Of course, the links are in the description for you to follow this information yourself. You can also click the link at the top of the description to join the Goldilocks QFS Dialogues Room. We will help you along the way to prepare for your relationships that will last you a lifetime. Be well, beautiful people. We love you.
Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter. Thank you for tuning in to our channel, Goldilocks Global Banking News. Everybody knows that Goldilocks is the number one source for the RVGCR. People from around the world tune in to see what Goldilocks is sharing on the RVGCR. Don't miss your chance and get your latest updates every day. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel to get your daily podcast from the Goldilocks articles on the RVGCR. Brought to you by Freedom Fighter.